Good evening, I'm Jeff Koinange, and this is Jeff Koinange Live. Tonight, better yet, when we were growing up, the name Ben Gethi conjured up all kinds of images. That's because that name belonged to a man who was the commandant of the GSU before going on to become the police boss. Those were the days back then. So when a couple of days ago, this headline appeared in the local paper, The Star, thank you, Sudhir, for getting me this paper, I wondered to myself, what is all this about? Young man, Ben Gethi, how he allegedly spent NYS cash. Well, I read more of the story, and tonight I'd like to ask you, the viewers, to be the jury in this court of public opinion, because there's a lot in this story that just doesn't add up. Maybe it does. We're asking the question, is this man a scapegoat? Has he been thrown under the bus? Is he the sacrificial lamb? Well, let me give you a bit of background. Ben Gethi, 31 years old, born in Garissa, raised in Tetu in Nyeri County, went to St. Mary's Boys in Nyeri. Not the St. Mary's that we went to, that other one. Later on, went to a nondescript college that nobody has ever heard about, and then worked his way. Pulled himself by his bootstraps, literally. And that's how he became a businessman. He's been working with the NYS. He says that, he admits it, for 5 years. Doing deals with them, doing tenders like everyone else. Legitimate tenders, that's what he says. He is worth, get this, 3 billion shillings. I'll say that again. 31-year-old Ben Gethi is worth 3 billion shillings. He's throwing this out there. So, when he was dragged into court on December 2nd for the second time in 6 months, he's asking the question, why me? We're going to interrogate that tonight and try to get to the bottom of things. By the way, we are live at the Villa Rosa Kempinski. This has been our home for the last couple of days, and this is where JKL is happening. You can tweet me. By the way, this is Ben Gethi's first ever interview. He didn't want to come on. His mother's worried about his life. She's very, very worried. So he didn't want to come on. It is his first time on TV ever. So this is exclusive. He doesn't even have a Twitter handle. So we're going to use mine, at Koinange Jeff. The hashtag we're using tonight, NYS. Now, like I said at the top of the show, you be the jury in this court of public opinion. Ben Gethi.
Pleasure.
Good to see you.
Asante sana.
Thanks for coming on the show. I know
the pleasure is mine.
You were very reluctant. And you know, when most people picked up this paper,
yes,
2 days ago,
yes,
I guess the obvious question I gotta ask you at the top of the show is, Ben, did you steal this money?
I've not done anything to do with the 791. None of my company has been associated, and I've stated that clearly. And I believe the courts will prove who stole what.
So why, look,
yes,
the story, as in the Star, says,
yes,
you bought a Roslyn estate worth 63 million. You have a property in Muthaiga North worth 46 million.
Yes.
Eden Times restaurant, 16 million. And then that Range Rover car. By the way, do you have a Range Rover? 24 meter.
I want to own one. I saw one when I got in. I want to own one, Jeff. Probably I'll ask them before probably they seize that car. If they've not seized, I want to drive it, Jeff.
This is not you.
We go to KRA, you get the registration. If you go to Ministry of Lands, where everything is documented, you'll get the owners, and they've been told. And I've also replied an affidavit, basically. And I've said I do not have preparatory interests on what has been alleged.
Well, someone can say, look, you bought the car under a friend's name and, you know, they're driving it just to hide the money.
We have a company and have a reputation, basically. I also pay my taxes. I wouldn't want to put somebody where I can also gain in terms of why should I give you a car that is very expensive and yet I want to be with it. It should be mine. How will I prove it's my car?
Yeah. Okay, but I also mentioned at the top of the show that
Yes.
you are worth 3 billion shillings.
Yes, yes.
You're 31 years old.
Not me directly, Jeff. My company. It's worth 3 billion. The books are there. That's why I carried all my documents. We have audited accounts and didn't start business yesterday. No? So this kind of notion that is being created, the image that has been brought out, that Ben Gethi stumbled on NYS money without doing the job, it's all lies to me.
Let's go back.
Yes.
You said you worked for the NYS for what, 5 years?
Yes.
How
yes.
did you start working with, how did you get your first tender?
Basically, we participated in the open tender. We are more into the competitive, not the non-competitive tenders. We did apply, and we have supplies document that can show our history. We got all of it, and it's open for anybody to scrutinize and look at it. Yes, and the bank statement to show even the payments.
So you got your first tender.
Yes.
What was that worth?
My first tender was around 500,000.
500,000.
Yes, yes.
And then after that, they kept
900. We shift up because basically what we did, we plowed in back the money. We did not start by buying stuff like what people are being shown. No, we did not start. That is 5 years ago. And because also that time you have to spend money. At the end of the day, if you have to deliver something, you have to spend money on it. You don't want to go, if you spend money, then at the end of the day, you end up wanting not to deliver anything. We have a history of delivering, Jeff.
So when they accuse you of stealing 791 million,
Yes.
when they accuse you of having access to IFMIS, they said that. They said you had the access code or whatever it is, the password
Yes.
for IFMIS.
Yes.
You.
No. Jeff, we had a lot of stories being told about NYS, about how the money was stolen, about how the job was being done. And somebody never asked himself, Jeff, why only me being bashed by a segment of the media and not the arm of the law? So, when we were told about the password, and this is what I'm reading from the media, they said the password cannot be stolen. We heard about the zeros. I do not work in NYS. I do not work in Treasury. How can I have access and go add zeros?
Yeah, according to one of the charges, they said
Yes.
abuse of office. Abuse of office.
Yes.
Like NYS office.
Yes.
You're not an employee.
I don't need to speak about the judicial process that is going on, but I'm yet to, I want them to come and bring on the book. You know, we've asked for the evidence, we've not yet gotten. I don't want to speak about it.
Ben, when you saw this headline the other day,
Yes.
when you saw this headline, when you
Yes.
in the morning, or either maybe someone called you,
Yes,
or you
yes.
were driving down the highway,
Yes.
and you saw this headline,
Yes.
what went through your mind?
First of all, the author of this story is a schoolmate of mine, Jeff.
It's a schoolmate.
Yes.
Where, Nyeri Boys?
St. Mary's.
St. Mary's.
Yes, yes. One, I went to business. This is a guy in a different career, basically. And business, you don't just shout. You know, I'm not the guy who wants all the time to come out and say, oh, this is what I've done. This is what I'm not doing, Jeff. I do want to come out, you know. But now everybody has brought me on the political circles and, you know, the media. I have to at least say something.
You know what, Ben?
Yes.
You know, I commend you for one thing.
Yes, yes.
Anyone else would have crawled under a rock
Yes.
and hidden from people like us.
Yes.
You've come out. You want your story told. Why?
I have nothing to hide, Jeff. I'm not scared because I'm not guilty. I've always been available for the ESCC and the DCI. And we've always said, even if they want me right now, I'm available to explain everything that they want. And we did that. And even when the court called us, I went there, Jeff.
Were you officially arrested?
No,
They just summoned you to court.
they summoned me to court.
You and
I
25
was in
others.
Mombasa. Yes, I was in Mombasa that time. I came in, I told my lawyer, you just go, because I didn't go the first time. I didn't appear the first time. I appeared the second time. And I took a plea, and I said, I'm not guilty.
But Ben, you must be asking yourself this
Yes.
question. Why me? Do you look in the mirror in the morning and say, why me?
Yes. Basically, when we look at NYS, people who've done business, we have people with big names who've done business. I'm a self-made. Yeah? Between me and my God, there is nothing else that can save me from the liars. Probably somebody has seen it's easier for this guy to carry the cross without anybody shouting. Yes, yes.
Look, do you know who stole 791 million. Do you have any clue?
I'm waiting. My companies, and I have to be clear, my companies never participated in the 791, and I've always said, but I'm waiting for the courts to tell us who stole the 791.
Yeah.
Yes.
Have you ever met former Cabinet Secretary Anwai Guru?
No, Jeff, I've not.
You've never met her?
Not at all.
You've never had any dealings?
None.
What
I
about,
don't need the big people to do deals.
What about NYS boss Koinange, former?
I hope I can speak now. No, but I met him in court, Jeff.
Oh, because he was with you in court?
Yes, we met in court, Jeff.
You'd never met him before?
No.
And yet they're dragging you and accusing you of stealing all this money?
I don't want to speak about what they've brought in, because basically I want to see what they have, Jeff. Yeah? I believe in the rule of law. When we do business, judicial processes are something that usually go on. Litigation of the time, we have the lawyers who will already be there. We are looking at the evidence that they are bringing on board. So that's all I can say for now, Jeff.
Yeah.
Yes.
Does that make you angry, though? I mean, look, being accused, your name being dragged in the headlines, your mother being so worried, does that make you angry?
No. You see, in time, because I believe lies are manufactured by human beings, but facts in time and the truth will always come out. I don't want to go down in town all the time wearing a hat or sunglasses. That's not me, because I know what I want in life. I've been working hard from all that time. I want to retire when I'm 40, 50 years. I want to retire in peace. I don't want to be called, to be told some other things. That's why I'm waiting. And I don't want to reply because I want people to see the truth.
Yeah, unfortunately, now people are referring to you as the thief.
Yes.
The guy who stole 585 or 791 million. That's what they're calling you, Ben.
Okay, I've not heard, nobody has told, because a lot of people know about me. But, Jeff, what I believe is that this country has its own share of evil geniuses. They'll take information and twist it, Jeff, and they'll crucify you with lies. That's all I can say.
Are people jealous of your wealth?
There are people, Jeff, who are younger than me and more richer than me.
Really?
Yes. And basically it's not my wealth, it's my company. We've got other shareholders, basically. Yeah. And we've got employees. They are part of that company. I cannot come and claim it is mine. I do not do all the paperwork. I do not pass all over these. No, Jeff, I cannot claim that.
Do you drive a Range Rover?
No, Jeff, I've never driven a Range Rover, but I want to drive a Range Rover.
Do you have a big house? Where do you live?
I live in an apartment just across here, Parklands.
You live in an apartment?
Yes, Jeff.
You're worth 3 billion. You're living in an apartment?
It's my company's money. The KRA knows it, and it's my company's money. Right now, all the time, we are turning it around in business. We have to make more. Our target is bigger, Jeff.
And KRA has audited you, has come, you've got the papers here.
Yes.
All this is your proof.
Yes, they're here.
That KRA has...
Should be here. No, they are, yes. Sorry.
And no one is asking any questions? Oh my goodness, they are your papers. And no one is saying anything? KRA, domestic
we
tax.
have an accountant, Jeff, who does all those documentation, basically.
But they haven't come to you and say you haven't paid your taxes in the last 5 years?
Nobody has come to tell me. And if they come, we'll argue and we tell them, okay, let's see what's the difference, because there's somebody who's in charge of that office.
Have CID come to your house?
Yes, the EACC have come to my house.
EACC?
Yes.
Not CID?
Not CID. EACC came to my house and they gave me a certificate of search, which indicated they've not found anything culpable on what they were looking for.
So what Ben, help me out, man. So what is this? Are you saying this was all manufactured?
You see, I believe in our institutions, and I believe they are credible, Jeff. And instead of this thing that, I'm being castigated by the media, basically, segment of the media, because the EACC following up, and we're expecting for them to tell us what transpired, Jeff. I want them to tell you how Ben came in, and I want that. If for example, you look at this, which I don't have an issue really, it tells you how Ben spent NYS cash. Then later they throw in, there's a charge of 791. So all the media they take, this is how Ben spent all that money. So I'm not the guy to go in, I don't have time to really go on the Twitter and reply on that, because you don't know what kind of perception people will take out there.
Sure.
So you just wait for them to repackage, because at the end of the day, we have legal processes which are taking over. But then we have other individuals who are milking political effects out of it.
Yeah. Let me give you a word of advice, Ben.
Yes, yes.
Going forward, since you're worth 3 billion shillings, you can afford someone to open a Twitter account for you and do some counterattack.
We deal, Jeff, in our business, we are service providers, Jeff. Not that we have the Twitter accounts for the companies. What I mean is my personal. I do not engage, because I might not be good in terms of engagement, because
Sure.
I'm more into a business, not more into personal. I'm not very good into personal issues. When we provide services, we provide for the private sector and the government sector, Jeff. So about the Twitter and everything, somebody will in the ICT sector will handle. If, for example,
For the
something
company.
to communication,
For the company.
yes, that will be
You
done.
wouldn't do it because you're a shy guy. You don't like the media.
They
You don't
brought
like to
me
expose
out.
yourself.
They did expose me, and I didn't like the photo. I said they better come for better
I know,
photos.
it's a pretty horrible photo, by the way. Bonnie, we check your photo. That's pretty horrible, by the way. You don't look anything like that. Ben, I want to take a break, come back, and talk about the EACC investigators who came.
Yes, yes.
Why you were dragged in court.
Yes.
And who is this woman, Kabura, you're being associated with? They say
That's
that
true.
she's your girlfriend or something? I mean, you have a wife and a child, right? I mean,
No,
come
no,
on.
okay, don't have a wife, but I have a child.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
all right. But Kabura?
Not married, yeah?
Kabura. Oh,
I don't know her.
Hold the thought.
Yes, yes.
Like I said at the top of the show, you be the judge in this court of public opinion.
Yes.
Is Ben Gethi a thief? Did he spend all this cash? Is he part of the 791 million scandal of the NYS? Or is he a scapegoat? Is he the sacrificial lamb? Is he being thrown under the bus because he is nobody? Nobody knows him. St. Mary's Boys, Nyeri. Some college nobody ever heard of. Nobody knows him. Think about it. Tweet us at Koinange Jeff, the hashtag NYS. Jeff Koinange live from the Villa Rosa Kempinski takes a break. We'll be back in a moment.